Hello, friends. Dr. Teri Rouse, and welcome to another Snuggle Bunny story time in this wacky weather special program that we're having this month. So, today I'm continuing with our program of wacky weather, and today we are going to be reading a book called Pickles to Pittsburgh, and it is a sequel to Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. So this book was written and colored by Judi Barrett, and the illustrations were created by Ron Barrett. So let's get started with our book, Pickles to Pittsburgh. I'm so excited that you're here with me tonight. Give me one sec. As usual, I'm changing up the camera. And here we go. Pickles to Pittsburgh. Just move that a little bit so there's not. There we go. Dear Henry and Kate, I'm having the best vacation ever, but I don't get much rest. I really wish you were here. Our group travels around in a big blue bus, and somehow it manages to climb up and down the tallest and bumpiest mountains and around some of the biggest plants I've ever seen. We visited many unusual places, met the local people, and even helped them out with some of their chores. I'm taking lots of pictures because this place is hard to believe. Wait till you, I can't wait to see you next Thursday. Love and hugs, Grandpa. We all missed Grandpa an awful lot. His Saturday morning pancakes, his mostly funny jokes, and especially his wonderful bedtime stories. Tomorrow would be Thursday, and he'd be home. We could hardly wait to hear where he had been and what he had done. To pass the time, we helped Mom make spaghetti and meatballs for dinner. Henry made the largest meatballs we'd ever seen. They barely fit into the pot. Mom thanked us for helping, but asked that the meatballs be much smaller next time. After we finished eating, Henry and I cleared the table so we could help bake a special welcome home cake for Grandpa. It was chocolate with strawberry icing and made in the shape of Grandpa's face. We licked as much of the batter off the spoons as we possibly could. I took Grandpa's postcards up to my room and put it on the little table beside my bed. I kept staring at it and wondering. The lamp light made bright a photograph of a wonderful place that seemed somehow familiar. I said goodnight to it and drifted off into my dreams. Surrounded by milky blue skies and with Henry as my co pilot, we carefully steer our plane through large puffs of mist. Soon we find ourselves soaring over an island, a very lumpy island. From what it looked like, from the air, it looked like a gigantic feast. Immense vegetables, salads, and desserts lie beneath us. The mountains look like huge loaves of bread. We decided to take a closer look and prepare ourselves for a bumpy landing. Avoiding some broccoli and narrowly missing a tremendous hamburger on an oversized bun, we come down and taxi on what appeared to be giant strips of crisp bacon. Henry and I step down from the plane and look around in awe. Before us lies a strange but wonderful landscape. We are surrounded by larger than life vegetables. Nearby a lake that smells like breakfast, bordered by leafy jungles of lettuce that resemble a tossed salad. Oops. We try to keep our balance as we walk around the top of a gigantic bagel and past a forest of towering carrots. One is pierced by a tunnel large enough for a car to drive through. Off in the distance, we see popcorn snowing down onto the peaks of enormous rolls, way above our heads, high up in trees that look like broccoli. Chubby birds are nesting in huge shredded wheat biscuits. Ahead of us, at the end of a long road, lies what looks like an abandoned town. Eager to know where we are, we start walking toward it. Sweet smelling rain begins to fall. It collects in hundreds of open containers that are lined up in a field beside the road. Lots of orange puddles are everywhere. Orange juice! All of a sudden, we find ourselves standing in the shadow of a giant tuna fish sandwich, being delicately airlifted by helicopter. In the distance, another helicopter races off with a jumbo pickle in tow. When we reach what is left of the town, we see the remains of a sign welcoming us to a place called Chew and Swallow. Somehow, I know I've heard that name somewhere before. We walk through the entire town in amazement. Up ahead, lots of workers wearing helmets and dressed in matching uniforms are loading huge potatoes onto a truck. Other trucks sag under the weight of immense artichokes, enormous eggplants, and massive peas and carrots. Foot-long veal cutlets are stacked up to be packed for shipping. To the east, the weather is changing, and we can see sandwiches raining down. As soon as they land, they're piled up neatly, ready for shipment on a freighter anchored down by the shore. Monday, eggplants to Ecuador, chili to Chile, milk to Milwaukee, hamburgers to Hamburg. Tuesday, pickles to Pittsburgh, pears to Paris, artichokes to Argentina. Hmm. Large reservoirs of milk and cream flow into extra large containers, which are lined up ready to be loaded onto a ship. Printed on the side of the trucks are the words Falling Food Company, large food for large and small countries, free. One of the workers tells us that Chew and Swallow used to be a very ordinary little town, except that instead of weather, food rained down from the sky for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Back then, he said, by some quirk of nature, the falling food grew larger and larger. Storms of gigantic food threatened normal life. So the people took their belongings and sailed away to new land on rafts made of huge slices of stale bread. They returned years later to see what had happened to Chew and Swallow. They discovered an endless food supply and decided to create the Falling Food Company. Now, daily shipments are made to all parts of the world, from the smallest towns to the largest cities. As soon as the food lands, it is wrapped, boxed, bottled, or packaged and sent out to people who need it. Even with poverty and drought throughout the world, there's always enough food for everyone. Henry and I think this is a great idea. We wish we could stay and work here, but I don't think they hire kids. It's getting late and we hate to leave, but we really have to be heading home. Mom's expecting us for dinner. The workers give us a 2-foot wide chocolate chip cookie, which we carry back to the plane. It just barely fit through the door. We buckle up, I rev the engine, and we start rolling down the bacon runway. As everyone waves goodbye, we can see dinner approaching from the west. Spaghetti and meatballs, I think. As we gain altitude, Chew and Swallow slowly vanishes into the distance. My alarm clock woke me with a jolt. It was finally Thursday, and I wanted to get to school fast. The sooner I got there, the sooner I'd get home, and the sooner I'd see Grandpa. When we got home, we ran as fast as we could into Grandpa's waiting arms. I brought back something for you, said Grandpa, and he gave each of us a very large box containing a chocolate chip cookie that he had gotten on his trip. They were the biggest we had ever seen, almost 2 feet wide. By the time dinner was done, it was late and Grandpa was tired. When he was all tucked in bed, we knocked on his door to give him an extra goodnight kiss. Then I told Grandpa the most wonderful tall tale bedtime story he'd ever heard. It began, surrounded by milky blue skies, and with Henry as my co-pilot. Grandpa stayed awake till the very end. Then he looked at us with a very funny glint in his eye and said, "Wait till I show you the pictures I took on my trip." And then he drifted off into his own wonderful dreams. The end. Wow. Another silly story that I so enjoy. Pickles for Pittsburgh, or Pickles to Pittsburgh. So glad that you were here with me tonight. I want to thank you for joining me. We have another night coming up very, very soon. I just want to invite each and every one of you to be a part of our Snuggle Bunny Book Club, a private group, private membership. Excuse me. You know, I am so excited to be able to be living a life of joyful impact. And part of that is being able to have the opportunity to read to people, to children. You know, reading is knowledge, knowledge is power, and it's really important to empower all people the best we can. And one of the best ways I know is through reading. So I would like to invite you to, again, to be a part of our Snuggle Bunny Book Club. There's an annual membership fee of $99, and you'll get access to all of the books that I read on Snuggle Bunny Storytime, but also each week I drop a new book into the private membership area, at least one book, sometimes 2 or 3. It just depends what's going on. So you can have the access to these books anytime, anywhere. It's a nice way to start a conversation with your kids. It's a nice way to have some quiet time set aside anytime, anywhere. All you need to do is go to drterirouse.com/SBBC and click the button, and you can get your subscription started. But here's the best part about it, and this is the impactful part about it, is that with each full paid subscription, we are gifting an annual subscription to a family that is less resourced and maybe struggling, because I want to give every person the opportunity to hear and see all different kinds of books. So I hope that you'll join me. Just go to drterirouse.com/SBBC, and you'll be able to join the Snuggle Bunny Book Club. All right, everybody, I will see you again for our next wacky weather book coming up soon. Thanks for being here. Stay safe and enjoy the weather.